COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
Yes, it's an Isolators episode today. We're going to get to our panel of isolators in a moment, but I want to say hello and a good evening to my fellow isolators. And comes the news now that we are starting to hear about plans for reopening. Premier Doug Ford, had laid out a plan today that he calls a roadmap, not a calendar. He has not given any exact dates, but he has said that there is going to be a certain order in which things are opening. This is good. We're talking about reopening. It's also good what the Premier is doing, not giving a date to it. Unfortunately, there are so many U.S. states that are going to be opening sooner than they should. In fact, I think in the next couple of days. I know Quebec is going to be allowing some of their kids to go back to school earlier, I think, than they should. So what's happening here in Ontario is good. It is what we should be doing, cautious optimism, but it is good to hear about this. That, yeah, there is definitely, we keep saying there's light at the end of the tunnel. Heck, we said that after day 2, right? But now we are looking finally for some light at the end of the tunnel. Now, before we get to our isolators, I want to get to our celebrations because there's a couple of milestone celebrations in here. And I think we all need to celebrate these people because I'm sure they would rather be doing something than isolating today. So it's time to celebrate. We begin with a milestone birthday. Happy 75th, Dave. I know your wife Janice is a regular viewer of this show. There was a big party planned, but not to worry. I'm sure it will still happen. For now, a very happy day to you from all your fellow isolators. Here's another milestone birthday, another one in which a party had to be postponed. Manette turns 50 today, celebrating by working at home. This birthday wish for you, Manette, is from your friend Nina. 7 years ago today, Daniel was walking his daughter Tiffany down the aisle before then officiating her wedding to Jeffrey. Today, Tiffany and Jeffrey celebrate that 7 years. Congratulations to both of you. And look at Will. He is turning 8 years old today. Talk about a kid after my own heart. He is a big fan of space and trains. Happy birthday from Mommy and Daddy. And it is time now for the isolators here. Oh, where are we here? Hold on, I have to get to my supposed to. There we go. Brought up my good-looking panel of isolators today, and there's Mike as well. So, hello to all of you. Did you catch that, Mike? I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Okay, let's go through this one by one. I'm going to start out welcoming someone new to the panel. This is Ruhi Kiflin. Ruhi, you're with the Good Neighbors Project out of Mississauga. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit, but you're here to share some stories about this project and some of the good news that comes from it.
Yes, that's correct. I'm from the Good Neighbor Project. So you're interested to know a little bit more about the volunteers that we've had?
We're going to be talking about them, but just remind people about how they get in touch with the Good Neighbor Project.
Sure. So the Good Neighbor Project, you can get in touch with us through our Facebook website. So if you go on Facebook and go look up Good Neighbor Project, there's a Facebook group available, which is available to everyone and anyone. And that's where we're keeping our great volunteers of over 5,000 now.
That's fantastic. And we're going to hear some of their stories too. And you have some amazing stories that are positive. So that's what we're going to be having coming up in just a few minutes. All right, Mike, I'm sorry for dissing you, buddy.
Oh, man. Hey, I know I'm the pretty one of the group, but I mean, hey, that's great.
Where we go,
buddy, glad to be back.
Where we go to find my friend Mike is we have to drive 8 hours up Highway 11 into to Cochrane, and we find him. He actually helps run the Gabashuan Men's Shelter in Cochrane. Good on you, Mike, for doing that. I think it's fantastic. It is a good organization. What are the boxes behind you?
The boxes behind me? Oh, yeah, that's
you didn't
storage.
Notice?
That's basically, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of my little zone where I do like any type of crafty little mechanical things that have to happen around the house. So basically those boxes are just storage.
Okay. And we welcome to the panel Toyota, I am going to say it wrong, but I'm going to give it a try, Toyota, Orgacha.
You're almost right. Orgotska.
Orgotska.
It's okay.
That's Albanian, right?
Right.
Right. Orgotska, or Toyota, the one thing that you really bring to the panel today is you are a student who is graduating Seneca for social work. And I find that interesting because social work is not one of those things that people just fall into. It's something you choose and it's something you're dedicated to. So you must have a passion for helping people.
Yeah, definitely. I do really love to help people because I do whatever, it's like a karma, right? If we help others, the good things come to us. So I'm really passionate about it, and I choose this one because I really love to help people in any way that I can.
I've got a great panel happening today, and Ruhi. Okay, we got a little bit into it, but let's talk a little bit about what the Good Neighbor Project is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our founder, essentially what happened was there's so many people, including seniors, people who are in isolation, people who are immunocompromised, people who have disabilities, who are unable to go out and get groceries. So the Good Neighbor Project essentially pairs a volunteer who is able to go on behalf of a requester and complete the grocery delivery and pickup for the requester. Yeah, and I know that there's been a lot of difficulties that people have been having with Walmart or No Frills with their wait times being over 2 weeks long. So we're able to connect volunteers to really quicken up that process and have volunteers deliver in, about 2 to 3 days time.
Now, this is something that is bringing you've told me, a lot of joy because you're hearing these amazing stories. Give me one really positive story.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many. It's hard to pick one, but I can give you a quick example. So we had a volunteer who went out of his way and completing a request for someone who lived quite far away, but because he had the time, he decided, I can go out and complete this request for someone. But at the same time, he also noticed that her lock, the senior lady that he was helping, her lock wasn't fixed, and she urgently needed someone to fix it for her. But because they were, already acquainted, he was able to fix it for her, and she was so grateful for him to do that because she wasn't able to get in touch with anyone else who could do something like that for her in this time.
That's fantastic. I really and you can always use volunteers. So I encourage people. In fact, we'll give that number several times through the day. So please, Mike, being in Cochrane. It might lead someone to believe that, hey, this is a big city problem. No worries about isolation. But is there a difference between what's happening up there than there would be in, say, a larger center?
You know what? It's basically the same. It's just the scale that's different. You have a lot of people that are going through a lot of the issues that the homeless population down south are actually suffering from. You have drug addiction, you have mental health issues, you have just a hard time making ends meet. Jobs come and go. And, we're all not that far from homelessness. I mean, we're only a couple paychecks away and our lives could change drastically to the point where we can't afford where we live, can't afford to feed ourselves. And that is a problem that is nationwide. It doesn't matter where you go. You can go to Nunavut and find homeless people. It's a very difficult thing to tackle in this country. And
well, Mike, working with the homeless, it would seem like it could be a sad thing. But do you have some positive stories as well?
We do have good news stories. We have stories of guys who have come to us. We were like the last stop in their life, and you could tell just by their mannerisms when you're first talking to them. But, we'll team them up with people. We'll not look at just housing them, but we'll look at the reasons behind what made them homeless in the first place and try and tackle those. And, we do have some good news stories. I can think of at least 5 or 6 clients just over the last maybe year that I can walk up to in the street and they're still housed, they're still happy, their lives are completely turned around. It's not. It takes a lot of work on both the client's part and ours. But you know what? There is hope, and it's all a matter of working with people, working with volunteers who step up regularly, and even local businesses who help us out.
Okay. All right, Toyota. You're up now.
Okay.
I'd like to know from you. Are you ready to get into this? Because there are going to be sad stories. However, how would you want to? Because you tell me, and I'm trying to phrase this right, because you've told me you really want to help people, that you have a passion for that, and you have a passion for human rights. So tell me what you would do, especially for someone who, we're all isolated and we're all complaining, but there are people who are even worse off. They're losing their jobs, they're losing homes, et cetera, et cetera. How would you deal with that? How do you work with that and stay positive?
Okay, first of all, I wanted to mention that, in the society we have people who are less fortunate and people who are more fortunate to have a house or to have possibility, even during this hard time, mostly for everyone. However, I wanted to tell to everyone, maybe people who have possibility, who are more fortunate than the others, to not complain too much during this period, to not just say, oh, I cannot wait until I go out because I'm really depressed. No, I would use this time as positively as possible, and I want to see this as more positively as possible, right? People should spend more time to know themselves, to love themselves, to love maybe people who they have conflict, maybe in family, right? They should spend more time, because maybe when people are outside, mostly everybody is busy and maybe school, maybe jobs, right? We don't really have time to think about this. But I think this is the best time for thinking about ourselves, definitely. So fixing ourselves, getting rid of everything that is toxic in our lives. Thinking more deeply about who we are, loving ourselves and loving more the others. Not really thinking, oh, I cannot wait until I go out because this is really depressing. No, not at all. Like, I would really recommend people that to see this as a positive moment, right? For digging more deep inside themselves. So it's really a great time, I think. So that's what I'm doing for myself right now.
Yeah, I think those are wise. How old are you, Toyota?
Ah.
20 plus.
Okay, those are words that someone as old as Mike perhaps should be saying, right?
Exactly.
Those are words.
Just going to say that.
Those are words that are quite wise. That's fantastic. Okay, Ruhi, what else comes to mind with what you've heard? That other story was great, and I bet you some people are probably becoming friends with shut-ins and with seniors.
Yeah, we've had so many requests where, the requester, once they've already, by now it's been over a month. So we've had repeat requesters and they're asking for the same volunteer because the first volunteer did such a great job. And then we've had so many translation requests that people have been so quick to just get on and help us translate the requests that we have. Requesters have been doing really sweet things as well. When they know that the volunteer's on their way to drop off things, they will leave a little, like a card on their door for the volunteer to thank them for everything that they've done. We had another really good story. We don't encourage our requesters tip the volunteers, but sometimes requesters feel so indebted for the volunteer that they want to show their appreciation in that fashion. So, there was a volunteer who completed groceries for a requester, and the requester gave extra money despite the volunteer saying no multiple times. And so the volunteer took that extra money and bought some extra fabric, bought some sewing materials, and built and made masks for frontline workers. So people are being really, really innovative and really creative with, all the time and the energy that they have. So it's really great to see what began as a a grocery delivery service to come into all these like small stories that are just so good, like good feeling.
You know what? There's someone here. Can we put the Joanne's comments up? Joanne's comment there. Yeah, I am immune suppressant, and I would love to be able to help. Pisses me off because I feel good, but and I'm not sure what the spelling is there. Awareness and drugs make it impossible to help other people. That, you know what, there are, Joanne speaks for a lot of people. There could be even just seniors who aren't able to get around, people who don't have a car, and they want to help, Mike. Let's say a special shout out to them because, in this case, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, we might say, but not in a way that they don't want to help, that they definitely do want to help.
I think in the overall human condition, I mean, we want to give. We're giving people. We're nurturing people, and yes, it doesn't shock me at all. But you know what? There's so much that somebody can do. You wouldn't believe what's a benefit out there. I mean, hey, just saying hi to somebody out the window, walking by, just calling somebody up, going on social media, and just kind of touching base with people. I mean, that's a benefit as well. I mean, you don't have to be running all over town. You don't have to have a car. Just put yourself out there a little bit and just say hi. That makes like a big difference with a lot of people.
Okay, I wanted to see some ideas from the message board here. What can Joanne do? What can people like Joanne do who want to help, but perhaps they're not able to help drive or they're not able to help to go out and get something? What else can they do? Because I know what it feels like to help people. And so there must be things that people can do. So Joanne, stand by. We are going to try and find out something that you can do. Toyota, how do you stay positive? How do you touched a a nerve, by the way, talking about getting rid of the toxins in your life. Okay, so how do you stay positive yourself personally?
It's not easy. It is not that. It's definitely very hard to do this, but it takes self-control. We really need to try to know ourselves better, because nobody is perfect. So we have a lot of maybe toxic behaviors towards ourselves or towards others, right? So it takes really strength and hard work to do that. So self-awareness is the first thing, right? So we need to train ourselves and to exercise and like even go and read information. Or really it takes like a mental strength to do that. And we really need, like I'm really mentioning this again, we really need to take first of all care of ourselves, because our lives are very busy and sometimes we really forget about ourselves, who we are. Do we really love ourselves?
Mm-hmm,
if I ask you, do you really love yourself, who you are? So like we have a lot of, still we have to give more love to ourselves. It's never done, because we are human beings, right? So we're not perfect. We really need to do that, definitely.
That's a great question. That is a great question. Ruhi, do you like yourself?
Me?
Ruhi. No, Ruhi.
I'm trying to work on it. Yeah, I do, but I'm trying to work more.
No, I kind of think you are, but I'm asking. I'm going to go around. I want to ask Ruhi, do you like yourself, Ruhi?
Do I like myself?
Yeah.
I mean, I like myself. I think we have our down days and up days, but for the most part, I like myself.
And you have the same reaction that I think anybody would have if they're faced with that question. Do you like yourself? You laugh. Oh, I don't know. I don't, and that that's just a natural reaction, because no one ever asks us if we like ourselves. Mm-hmm. Someone might say, hey, do you like that guy? Do you like that person? Do you like this? Do you like ice cream? But we never say to each other, do you like yourself,
Sorry,
Mike?
Kevin, I was not only talking about liking, I was talking about loving. Nurturing ourselves.
Okay.
Giving a healthy food to ourselves, like in terms of not only food. Of course, it's great to eat healthy food, important, but to give ourselves, to nurture our soul, it's very important, really.
All right, Mike. Oh, no, sorry, Ruhi, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I absolutely agree. And I think in a time like this, when it's very easy to let yourself get down, it's really, really important and critical to come out of that and use that, self-control to remind yourself why it's so important to love yourself. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Okay, sorry. No. I was doing something with my mic at the time. Sorry about that. Kathy up there. Kathy says first time watching, and it is very positive. So we welcome you to the program, Kathy. Most definitely.
Hi, Kathy.
Mike says hi. So Mike, do you love yourself?
You know what? I love myself. But I also judge myself. That's what I always had. And, I'll sit there and I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll sort of evaluate my day. Did you do everything you possibly could today? And are you okay with that? But generally, I love myself, sure.
All right, Toyota, your turn. Do you love yourself?
Yes, I do. But during this quarantine, I'm trying to work on loving myself more.
Why?
I think this is the best time to do this because my life always have been always busy, school and everything. So I never had that much time, or I never thought that too deeply, right? So now I'm really, you know what? I want to talk to myself. I want to make plans for myself. I want to read about everything that is toxic that maybe I was not aware of before. I want to have a happier life, right? So I'm trying to improve myself during this time, and this is really the best time, and I'm trying to use the best of this time because I don't want to regret when this time finish. When we're going to be free finally to go outside. I wanna really use us in the best way as possible this time. So.
All right, Ruhi. Let's dig into another story. Tell us somebody else who deserves. And if you want to use names, if you're complimenting someone and you feel free to use a name, then please, they deserve the recognition. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't. Let me think about this one. So we had a volunteer. So a lot of our volunteers pay out of pocket before they're able to be reimbursed by the requester, which is a big ask. For volunteers. So we actually had a request. There was a gentleman by the name of Darren. He volunteered to pick up a request which he thought was already paid for, and all he had to do was pick it up. But there was a miscommunication. It seemed when he got there, it was actually something that was not paid for. So he paid out of pocket for a request that was over $350,
Wow.
which is, a lot to ask of a volunteer. Of course, the requester was eternally grateful and he was reimbursed. But I think people are putting a lot of faith in knowing that someone who needs it and they will be reimbursed, because that's a big risk that you take when you take that kind of money out of your pocket for someone that you don't know, have never met, potentially will never even meet, because you're just leaving those groceries outside of their door and leaving. So, huge shout out to Darren for being so selfless and picking up the slack for. Yeah.
Hold on. I think, Parker, do we have some applause somewhere?
Yeah, get some applause.
Yeah, right here.
Hold on, just a second here. Here we go. That's the best we can do. All right. There we go. That's for Darren. I feel like I'm running a really bad 1970s morning show on radio somewhere, Mike. Mike, you've always been, as long as I've known you, and it's funny how you and I have grown into a friendship, because I just sort of met you through social media when I was on TV.
Yeah.
And just sort of, I think the fact you love trains, it sort of endears me to you, or endears you to me, because I love trains. And you're always smiling, you're always positive, and yet, so what's your go-to to stay smiling and positive?
You know what? My go-to is to basically balance everything. You have hard times that you have to work through, but then you also have to counter with the good times. Even at work, where you'll find some coworkers like outside of the shelter, and we'll just laugh and talk about life in general, and actually have some good laughs, and then breaks over, we all go back to work. I think it's all about the balance. We had a tricky day at work today, and I wasn't all happy smiley, but you know what? After work, we laughed and joked about things that were like altogether different, and it kind of balanced everything out. So
Okay.
it's a little balance.
All right. I am going to put a challenge to our panel. They don't know that I am doing this, so you have a couple of moments to think about this. I want you each to tell me a joke. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. So think about that. In the meantime, we're going to do a little bit of business here. We, of course, do our Biz Bump every night. So here we go with tonight's Biz Bump. The Coffee and More store in Orillia is still open for business. Well, social distancing business. A wide variety of whole bean, ground, and K-cup coffees, loose leaf, and bag teas, and much more. Check out their website, thecoffeeandmorestore.com, or call Shane at 705-321-9086, and he will have your order ready for curbside pickup. The Coffee and More Store, 170 Memorial Avenue in Orillia. Okay, not yet, guys. Not yet. Hold on. I'm just going to go to this.
My name is Willow. When I grow up, I want to be an astronaut and go to all the planets. Jupiter, Mercury, Venus. I like to see Mars. Earth is my favorite. I built a spaceship to travel to the future. I learned if we stay inside, everything is going to be okay. Please stay home if you can. Try your best. Stay healthy and be kind to each other.
It's our latest Isolators panel, and we have three great people here, very positive, with some great advice. However, I don't know if any of them are angry at me right now. You guys, it's okay. I just popped this on you, right? Okay. Who else?
Absolutely.
Okay, Mike, you're not going first because you're always too eager, and I know that's not a problem.
That's probably the best reason for him to go first.
Well, Ruhi, since you don't want to go first, I'm going to go to you first. All right. Give me something to smile about, something to laugh about, Ruhi.
So, disclaimer, coming up with jokes on the spot is not my forte. But I'll do a knock-knock joke.
Okay.
So, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Voodoo.
Voodoo who?
Voodoo think you are asking me all these questions.
That's good. Audience? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, good. See, we need these smiles. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, Tieta.
Nothing comes in my mind. I wasn't prepared for it. I passed to Mike. Maybe he has something in his mind quickly.
You don't have, even when you were a little girl, what was your favorite joke? All right, I'll give you one.
I had to think about it.
Okay, let me give you one, Tieta. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's green and goes slam, 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 slam? What's green and goes slam, 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 slam?
I'm having a blackout right now. I don't know.
It's a four-door pickle.
Oh.
There's no applause for that one. Yeah, that is crickets. They're cricket sounds. Okay. All right, Mike. Give me your best.
Okay. All right, guys. You all set? All right. So what do you call a cross between an elephant and a rhinoceros?
An elephant and a rhinoceros. All right, go ahead.
Hell if I know.
Oh. Whoa. Good night, folks.
Yeah, take it away, Tristan.
That's a good one.
You know, laughing and smiling sometimes can be difficult in times like this when you're stressed out and you have anxiety. And I recognize for the first couple of weeks, and Ted, I'm gonna go. I just want to sort of get your take on this. I thought for the first couple of weeks, people thought they weren't allowed to smile and they weren't allowed to laugh. It just seemed everything was so serious. And when we saw somebody laughing, we were thinking, "Oh, should they be laughing?" It was almost like we were at a funeral.
Like isn't normal, yeah. Yeah, I do hear a lot of people that they keep just being depressed and oh my God, I cannot really. It makes me feel bad, right, about this because people. I'm like, we should all be more aware about ourselves, and even in the difficult times, we should find the strength on going on. We shouldn't feel like we're in jail. Like really, can we think about those people who are really in jail and they can't even get out? We're not really like that. We have like a lot of people. We have a roof on our head. We have food, and we like really. People should complain less, I think, about this.
You tend to really exemplify the old saying, "I cried because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet." And yes. and sometimes we think we're the worst off in the world, and why is it always happening to us? But I think that we can also help get over that, because when we help people, we sometimes see how we have it better. And really, let's go to you. I mean, is that a feeling that that a lot of volunteers get?
Yeah, I think, if we're talking about things like coping strategies at a time like this, volunteering is one of the best ways to make yourself feel better. There's so many people who have, either lost their jobs, or students who are on, they have extra time on their hands to kind of deal with the stress, to deal with the anxiety, or all those situations. People are coming out and volunteering with us to make them feel better. And I think what you said is spot on. When you go and volunteer and help out someone who may be unable to go out and get those groceries for themselves, I think you feel grateful for your ability to do so. And even from the seniors' perspective, we've, like similar to when Mike was saying it before, just a hi, or even them calling us and us relaying that information to our volunteers makes the volunteers feel really good, and that in turn helps the seniors. So I think it's a really great community when you can all come together and help each other, and that just makes, everyone feel better, the helpers and the ones who are getting helped.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that a lot of people believed before this. Mike, maybe we've converted a lot of people into volunteerism. We're always looking for people to do things for other people. Do you think maybe we're this will better us as a society?
Oh, I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, we see a lot of people out there doing what they ordinarily wouldn't do. And then all of a sudden we have this pandemic that we're dealing with, and everybody's kind of coming out of their shells and saying, well, you know what? Like with the grocery delivery, I mean, there's a lot of people who have cars, and they just said, well, gee, I got a car, I can go to the grocery store with these people, and it's simple, and I think a lot of people are going to reflect on that once this pandemic is over, and they're going to say, you know what, let's make some change, let's keep this going, and I'm totally positive that we're going to be looking at an entirely new way of looking at society from here on out, I think.
And Toyota, you sort of referred to yourself as an activist. And I think this is one thing you have been trying to really emphasize to people, I'm guessing, is like, hey, folks, you know what it's like to help people? So do you feel that maybe something positive is going to come out of this?
Okay, basically, I want to talk about my experience even many years ago in Europe, where in Italy I've been volunteering for 6 years in a shelter. So I really love that experience, and really I bring that with myself all the time. I love that, even though at that time I was studying not social service, I was studying something different, but I really love that experience. And also, I'm volunteering somewhere here in Canada right now. It's really great. I really feel great helping people in need. And I am advocate for certain group of people of some occupied countries, people who do not have rights, people who do not have right to speak their own language, people who do not have right to like even as a human being. So really, I'm really I really love to advocate and to be a voice for people who do not have a voice, have no right to a voice. So I do also write articles about this, and really I want to be the voice of people who are mostly in need. I feel good doing that.
That's fantastic. Okay, where can we find your articles?
You can search on Google, or I can give you the site.
All right,
maybe later. Or?
You send me the site, and I will make
sure.
I will make sure it gets posted, because I'm guessing that what you say, will be everybody will be interested in. All right, so you send that to me. Okay, so all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of happy birthday Margaret's coming on the message board, and I think we've tracked it down originally. So it's lots of special deliveries for my birthday, and so it looks like this is It's Margaret Garnier's birthday today. I am presuming.
Happy birthday, Margaret!
Birthday.
Oh, and look at this, Linda. Put on Linda's comment there on Toyota rocks. So it says here, Toyota rocks. There we go. There we go. There are actually people making arrangements to call each other on this site right now. Oh, Carmen. Okay.
This site is perfect.
You know what? For Margaret, okay, you got a special request, Mike. Where did that one go? Carmen, up where it says from Mike. Yeah, do you see it there? Bring it. Well, anyway, Carmen says, sing happy birthday to Margaret, Mike.
Okay. All right. Now, is that with the mustache or without?
Let's just go sans mustache right now.
Sans mustache? All right. Okay, Margaret. Are you ready? Okay, everybody buckle up. This is going to get rough. All right. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Happy birthday to you. Woo. Happy birthday, dear Margaret. Cha. Happy birthday to you.
Wow. Okay. No, that was fantastic. Happy birthday, Margaret. I can't thank all of you enough for this. Let's go back around and remind people about, let's first of all talk about the Good Neighbor Project, because I want people to volunteer for that. You will feel good. And they have jobs. You don't have to have a car. They have things that they need lots of people to do. Right, Ruhi?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, hotline volunteers who are intaking calls. We're open 7 days a week from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. So if you don't have a car, that's available. If you're able to drop off groceries, that's another option. If you need groceries delivered, then you can call us at 647-873-2230, and we'll be able to find a volunteer who can help you.
All right. Mike, how can people help the Gabashuan Men's Shelter?
Well, you know what? We take, if you get a hold of the Innu Friendship Center, and if you would like to make a financial donation of some type, give them a call at 705-272-4497, and they'll help you run through the process of exactly doing that.
Yeah, I think I need to do a show for our Indigenous communities because I know they face a whole separate amount of problems. I know the Kids Help Phone is looking for responders who can work with Indigenous communities. So definitely, it's something very much to keep in mind. Maybe we as a general society have a right to have a chance to maybe right a few past wrongs. Maybe by reaching out and treating everybody as, well, we're all in the same boat together. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
all right, Toyota. I'm really interested in reading some of your articles. Where do you hope to end up working?
I did not decide yet. I'm still thinking about it. So I might even continue my education. So I'm like in between to a dilemma if I go work this year or continuing. However, I don't have any specific, I'm flexible actually. I didn't decide yet.
All right. So Toyota is in the process of graduating from Seneca for social work.
I did graduate actually online because we didn't have choice to go anymore the last month in school. So I did graduate like this.
I'm trying to keep up. It is getting to be grad time and prom time as well. So congratulations to you. I want to thank all of you. I hope some of your positivity has rubbed off on people, and I hope sometimes and I know that everybody feels down at some point. I know I do sometimes. I hope that you can remember, just keep this in mind that, you shared today some positivity and you shared some good feelings. Keep some for yourself, and just know that we'll all be thinking of you on those times when you need it. All right. So thank you very much, and have a great night, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Fantastic panel. The positivity is amazing. That good feeling. It was true the first few weeks. It just felt like people, this is terrible, and I don't know what to do. And for the most of us, we're not affected by losing someone from corona. Yes, there are people, and our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go out to those people. But the vast majority of people will not contract COVID-19, nor will they lose someone from it. So we need to, as Chieta had said to us, get rid of the toxins and remember that there's always people who are worse off than I. I wanted to discuss an email that I got, and I did answer this. And if you're reading my Twitter this afternoon, or even on Facebook, you'll see the answer I gave at length. But it's interesting, and I know a lot of people are struggling with this right now because they're trying to do what is right. They're trying to isolate. They're trying to do what is right for their fellow human being. So I got this letter from someone, and I'm not going to use any names. I'm finding most of my struggle mentally is my rage at those who are not following the rules. Posting get-togethers, bonfires, and dinner parties all over social media. Going up to the cottage with zero care for others. My husband is laid off. I'm still on maternity leave, and we're in a small condo with 2 kids. We would love to see people, to visit my parents, but we are following the rules. I want to snap on the people I see who aren't. It's not fair. And just before I go on, because there was one comment here from Lucy, and definitely I want to bring this up. Lost my uncle to COVID-19. Our thoughts, our prayers go with you, Lucy. We are all in this together, and the last thing we want to do is lose any more people, and that's why we're social distancing, and that's why this really struck a chord with me. Not because of people not social distancing. You know what? If you're still having parties and bonfires and get-togethers with people who you do not live with, you're doing wrong. Shame on you, and shame on you for trying to make excuses for it. So I want to speak to people like the author of this email who get stressed out and anxious by it, that they can look out the window. It's like being a kid, right? And looking out the window and seeing all the kids out playing, and you're not allowed to go outside. Well, you are. Just know you are doing the right thing. I want to bring it now. I've never done a screen share on this before, so I'm going to try and do this. There, it worked. Wow. Okay. I have to take this off so I can see that. There we go. This is a chart that I've actually shown you a few times before, but this really, really pertains to this situation. And that is that everything here... hold on, I got to move this thing over here. Okay. This thing over here, it's split up really into 2 sections. So things... there we go. Hold on just a second. I want to push the pen. I want to push that. I want to push that. And I want to do this. Okay. Is that going to work? No, it's not. Okay, you know what? I'll just put the highlight over it. Things I cannot control. So you fixed it, Parker. Okay. All right, hold on. I'll take it from here. There we go. Okay. So things I cannot control. So I let go of these things. Things I can control. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's scribbling all over my chart. Hold on. Let me just bring this. Hold on. hold on. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to delete that. Sorry, folks. This was going to be really good and everything. Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll just try my best to describe it by looking at it. So one of the things that you cannot control is right here. You can't control if others follow the rules of social distancing. So I let go of these things. You know, even if you yell at them, they're going to think, hey, get lost, mind your own business. You cannot control these things. So you let go of them. What can you control? Well, look right here. My own social distancing. Congratulations. Way to go for you. If you are going to be worried about everybody else, then it's going to drive you crazy. It's not worth it. You cannot control the actions of others. You can't control other people's motives. You can't control the amount of toilet paper at the store. It'll drive you crazy if you try and control this. I mean, I know I'm an A-type personality. I try and control everything I can. And that's one of the things I learned with meditation and with cognitive thinking is that you have to, at some point, say to yourself, I can't control that, so therefore, I'm not going to worry about it. So I want everybody to remain positive and remember about getting rid of the toxins in your life. Try and be positive and try not to worry about other people's actions. We've done everything we can. We've done everything right. I'm sure that by listening to this show, you're not someone who is not social distancing. I congratulate you on that. It will be worth it. And you know what? We heard, what was the name of the person who lost her uncle? I'm sorry. Lucy. Lucy lost her uncle. I don't know by what circumstances that he contracted COVID, but it's quite possible it's because someone was not social distancing. We don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. So what these people do who still gather together in groups and think that, oh, you know what, I'm not sick, it's okay. Well, they're fooling themselves and they're not doing anybody any favors. And you know what? It's possible that Lucy's uncle would still be here if someone may not have had that bonfire or that party. 80% of the people who have COVID don't even know they have it. They don't have any conditions. They're just carrying it. So you can say, I don't feel sick all I want. You could actually simply be carrying it. You could touch an elevator button. You could, and Lucy's giving us an update here, right here. He was in the hospital. He went in for a checkup. So what's that? He contracted it in the hospital. So we don't know where that came from. So it could have been someone who was not social distancing. They don't know they have it. They transfer it to someone. They transfer it to someone. Someone goes to the hospital. They push the elevator button, and it's there. We don't know. All we can do is what's right for each other. If we don't band together and we don't stick together, then all is lost. It really is. A chain is only as good as its weakest link. You're not the weakest link if you're distancing. Thank you. So, you know what? Forget what they're doing. It's sad. There's nothing you can do about it. But I want you to be positive. We need all the strength we can get, our inner strength, and we need that strength to remain positive. Don't waste it on this. Remember, send me in your celebrations and what people are celebrating, please. Send in the business. If you run a small business, it's still open for a biz bump. It's free. It's free. There's no charge. Unless you want to give me money, that's okay. I won't refuse. No, but there is no charge. And I want to thank our Isolators panel tonight. If you'd like to be on a future Isolators panel, get in touch with me as well. Let's remind people of our email address. It is firstaidforyourmentalhealth@gmail.com. That is firstaidforyourmentalhealth@gmail.com. I look forward even just to hearing from you. Lucy, I'm very sorry, and our thoughts go with you. But let's just hope that maybe, even if we just, by your story, convinced one person to decide, you know what, I'm not going to go out and meet someone tonight. If we convince just one person, maybe we've saved someone else. So I thank you for sharing that. Our thoughts go with you. And everyone, it's never been more true what I end every show with than ever. And that is, take care of yourself and take care of each other.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack.